Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. So first of all, I just want to say, to introduce myself, my name's Carolyn Allen, and I am the Nursing Cast Senior Manager at the American Association of Colleges of Nursing in Washington, D.C., and I'll give you a little bit of background information about AACN in a few minutes for those of you who might not be familiar with the organization. And I want to thank, I'll have my colleagues introduce themselves while they come up to present as well. So I'm just happy that all of you are here, first of all, and that you're considering nursing as your career path. And some of you might be well on your way already, taking prerequisites, or maybe you've already completed a program. So thank you for being here today, and we hopefully can give you lots of good information about how to continue the application process. So you are in good company. There are a lot of registered nurses out there, currently over 3.1 million in the country, and it's growing every day. And there's a lot of good job opportunities. So there's a projected 1.2 million job openings. And according to the California Employment Development Department, there will actually be close to 300,000 registered nurse jobs in California in 2018. So you're definitely going down a good pathway for job opportunities. There's also a variety of options that you can do, lots of different settings that you might be aware of. You could practice in a hospital, in a private practice, a school. So there's a lot of good opportunities for kind of different environments that you might practice nursing in. And nurses impact everyone in the healthcare system, and they have a lot of great opportunities to really make positive changes in the environment that they're practicing in. And you also have several chances to advance your education, and you can pursue different specialties. So maybe you're interested in pediatrics, and you might want to consider eventually getting your Master's of Science in Nursing degree and concentrate in pediatrics. So there's so many different degrees that you can do, baccalaureate, graduate level degrees, and tons of different specialties. So it's really great variety as far as the profession goes. So to become a registered nurse, your first, every student who wants to become a registered nurse does need to take the national licensure examination, the NCLEX, and there's a good resource for you to learn about the licensure requirements in different states in general. So that's a good website to take down. And AACN recommends, in many leading nursing organizations, such as the American Organization of Nurse Executives, recommends the BSN as the pathway for nursing, but there are additional options that I'm going to talk a little bit about. So first of all, you can do your associate degree in nursing, you could do a hospital-based RN diploma program. However, there's not as many of those programs in existence. There's less than 10%. So, but you might know a nurse now who perhaps did their RN diploma. So we would recommend that if you consider the BSN, or if you already have a degree in another discipline, you might want to consider an accelerated BSN for non-nurses or an entry-level master's program. So those are some options that you want to consider. So moving on to Nursing Cast. What is Nursing Cast? It is an online centralized application service for nursing schools. So it's similar to the Common Application, but it's specifically for nursing programs. It's relatively new still, so we launched it in 2010, and it's an initiative of the American Association of Colleges of Nursing and our technology partner, Liaison International. So AACN, we're the national membership organization for over 750 nursing schools that grant baccalaureate and higher degree programs in nursing. We provide programmatic initiatives for faculty, deans, students. We also work on public policy initiatives. We set curriculum standards. And of course, in 2010, we launched Nursing Cast to try to help streamline admissions for not only students, but also schools. And our partner, Liaison International for Nursing Cast, they actually work with 25 other health professions to provide centralized application services. So if maybe you have friends that are applying to dental school or medical school or pharmacy school, that health profession association, such as the American Dental Education Association, likely partners with Liaison to provide that application service. So they have a lot of experience in that arena. So NursingCast, we partner with participating with schools to provide the online application for students, and also to process your transcripts. You can submit references, personal statements, any supporting documents that the various schools that you're applying to need. You can submit through NursingCast, and then that information is sent electronically to those schools that you have designated or selected to apply to. So really the purpose is so you have to just fill out one online application, ideally send in one set of transcripts to research and apply to any nursing program, whether it leads to RN licensure or if it's an advanced degree program such as a master's degree or doctoral degree or maybe a postmaster's program. And really the main motivation behind AACN wanting to launch NursingCast is because we want to help direct students to open seats. So overall, nationwide, there are over 75,000 qualified applicants that get turned away from programs, even though 14,000 seats go unfilled. And here in California, in 2012, close to 7,000 qualified applicants got turned away from nursing school. So with a centralized mechanism, we're hoping to be able to help direct you to open programs. So we're working hard to partner with schools in California and throughout the country so that you have opportunities to apply to those schools through one online application. And actually, Brandman University, if you were just in that session, they're using NursingCast, and several other schools in California are. And again, we're reaching out to those schools to build those partnerships so you have an opportunity to apply to all of the schools that you're interested in through one online application. So now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Caroline. My name is Hilda Mejia Abreu, and I was a former Associate Dean of Admissions and Student Services at a university in Texas and Assistant Dean for Admissions and Student Services at another school in the Midwest. So right now, I am the Executive Director of Liaison International NursingCast and Program Partnerships. So I work with Caroline and Tanya together. So my goal here is twofold: to of course, speak about NursingCast and let you know what is important about the centralized application service, but also to talk to you about what schools might expect from you. So before I start my talk, because I should have been an epidemiologist, I want to know by a show of hand, how many of you are prospective applicants to nursing school? Okay. Advisors? Any advisors? Any professors? No? How many of you are thinking to apply to graduate programs? Okay, very good. Well, as you heard Caroline say, NursingCast allows you to apply to many programs using one application and one set of transcript, which is a beauty. And you'll hear my colleague, Tanya, speak a little bit more about the power of NursingCast. They have dedicated professionals answering the telephone and helping you, and you can check your status 24/7. So my goal here mainly is to talk to you about tips, and I hope that my lavalier is on and you can hear me okay. But when applicants are researching school, normally they go to Google search, or normally they go to a web page and they don't know. Well, in order for you to be a successful applicant, Caroline just said that there were thousands of seats that were not filled in the country and in California. One of the things that I would suggest to you as a prospective nursing applicant is to be aware of what are the requirements and what are the requirements at the various schools. Let's say that you want to apply to UC Davis at another school. Well, you might want to empower yourself by looking at what are those schools wanting to see in an applicant. NursingCast can allow you to look at all the schools in the country and what the requirements are and link to their website. So that's one way to do it. There is not a centralized place where you can find all of the admissions requirements for all the colleges in the country, but NursingCast can allow you to view those requirements at the participating school, which we have over 150 schools participating right now. Knowledge of deadlines is critical. If you miss a deadline at a school when you're applying to college, pretty much you can say goodbye to those chances of enrolling. How many of you, when you were applying to college, thought, okay, I need to do a timeline and pre-plan this, and how many advisors helped you, right? They helped you trying to plan. So it's a planning process. So knowledge of deadline is key to your success. Collect information about the school. Collect as much information as possible, because you really want to know of the programs that are either participating in nursing CAS, where do I best fit with the requirements? Where do I best fit with what I want in a program? So ask for contact information at the schools about ambassadors and peer mentors and peer advisors, so that you can ask them questions about the curriculum, about clinical sites. Are the clinical sites within the Sacramento area, or do I have to go to San Jose, or do I have to go to San Francisco? That is critical information that you as an applicant need to review, need to ask for, so that you can determine goodness of fit with the institution. Many of us don't do that. So your preparation, as you think about applying and looking at nursing CAS and trying to look at goodness of fit. Some school might require in the nursing CAS application for you to submit a personal statement. Others do not. But if they do require for you to submit a personal statement, this is what I would recommend you do. That you write it, that you proof, that you rewrite it, and that you use what I call the rule of two. Can anybody guess what the rule of two is? Yes, you want what this young woman said, proofreaders. What you want to do is give it to an advisor, give it to a mentor to proofread. And once you get input from those advisors, make sure that then you submit. Because you want to make sure that that is your first introduction to the university, that is a good impression, right? Today, to come and see you, I wanted to dress very nicely because I want you to have a good impression of who I am, and it's my first introduction to you. So that's what you're going to do with that personal statement, if required to submit one. If references are required, make sure that you have a list A and a list B of reference. In nursing CAS, you are able to actually ask the evaluators to submit those references online, 3, 4, or 5, whatever the school requires. The schools will have a specific requirements in nursing CAS. So school A might say 3 references are needed, and school B might say 5. We'll have a list of at least 6 to 10 people that can be your reference. Why do you want to have a list A and a list B? Somebody might not be able to submit a reference on your behalf. So then you go to your list B. My suggestion is share with them your statement of goal. What would you like to do in 5 or 10 years? What is your ultimate goal in nursing? You might want to be a legislator. You might want to be a dean. You might want to be a practitioner. So share with them what your aspirations are. But also, you must ask a key question. And my mentor told me this a long time ago. You want to ask your evaluators whether or not they can provide you the best letter of recommendation. That is a difficult question to ask, but one that you must ask. It is your career, it is your future, so you are compelled to ask that question. And I will tell you, I was an associate dean for a while, I was an assistant dean for a while, and if I didn't have time to recommend anyone, I would tell them, I am so sorry, I am so busy. Maybe you should go to another person, because right now I have 20 people that are asking me for a recommendation. People will be honest with you, so do ask those critical questions. Share a copy of your resume with them, because they're gonna want to know if you were in the microbiology class or in the nutrition course, what you did and what was your experience with them in the lab. So remind them of who you are. Be respectful when you contact the admissions office. Believe it or not, most of us keep notes on everyone that calls, and some are actually taped, and that is important. If you are going to start with a good first impression on a positive note, that is an applicant that I'm going to want to fight with the admissions committee. Let's say that my enrollment cap is at 130, and you might be that student that is 131, that might not have the amazing academic credentials, but might have the most amazing references and personal statement, I am going to go to that admissions committee and say, this is a person that we need to take a chance on, because this is the type of person that called this office, that was courteous, that was respectful. You are going to be healthcare providers, right? So you're going to be really taking care of the public. So we want to know from the very first minute that you communicate with us that you're going to be able to do that for your patients. So past behavior is an indicator of future behavior. So be respectful when you call the admissions office and when you talk to them. Your experience must be positive from the start. That is just something that you need to remember. Apply only if the college is a good fit for you. So I told you about goodness of fit. A lot of you have taken stats already, right? So chi-square pretty much is telling you that what you observe and expected outcome frequencies, you observe the culture of the school to be sure you have something in common with them so that there's a goodness of fit. So the expectations match the outcome. Does that make sense? So you have to do your research. I also want you to be reminded, with the Nursing CAS application, you submit a lot of papers to them. Once you receive an offer of admissions through Nursing CAS portal, you're also going to be told to submit a whole bunch of papers, immunizations, health insurance information, a deposit. I want you to pay attention that you will be submitting all sorts of stuff, but also how do I pay for my education? So if you have to work part-time, you might want to look at your financial aid office for guidance and ask them what are the implications. But also your program might not allow you to study part-time. So you have to look whether or not you fit with what the school is requiring you to do as far as full-time or part-time enrollment, and how financial aid might impact you in terms of financial aid. So I said there are mountains of papers that you need to submit. Some of those you might be able to upload through the Nursing CAS portal, and Tanya will talk to you a little bit more about how you can use the Nursing CAS application portal. But my suggestion is make sure that you submit everything by the deadline that the school is asking you to submit. If you don't, you might lose your place in the class. So pay attention to those deadlines. Be cognizant that they really want you there, so don't delay what they're asking you to submit, and those are the big mountains of papers that you will be submitting to them once you are admitted to the school. I'm going to leave it right here because my colleague Tanya has a lot of ground to cover, but I'm sure that we will be open for questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Hilda. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanya Zavarelli, and I'm the Nursing CAS Director at Liaison International. I am going to pull up nursingcas.org for everyone to see. How many of you in this room already started using Nursing CAS at all? Great, so we have one person. Awesome. So I'm going to give you a thorough walkthrough of the Nursing CAS application. So make sure everyone goes to nursingcas.org, and where it says click here to start your application, that's where you want to go. So where I already have a username and password, I'm going to show you. If you are a brand new applicant to Nursing CAS, you want to go here to create account, and you will fill out all this information. If you have already applied to Nursing CAS in the past, you can do reapply, and you would put in your information from the previous cycle. But I'm assuming you guys are all brand new to Nursing CAS. So I'm going to log into my test account. And my goal today is to show you all important parts of this application so that it's a streamlined process as you're going through it. So currently I'm logged in with my test account. This unique identifier will stay with you throughout your whole entire NursingCast application. This number is what we use to match up all your official transcripts that get sent directly to NursingCast. We have a dedicated customer service team, as Hilda mentioned. You can call to customer service Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Fridays, 9 a.m., 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can email us at any time as well, so we will answer all of your questions that you may have about the NursingCast application. We also have a detailed frequently asked questions section where you can ask if you have any questions while you're going through the whole process. You can click on any questions and the answers will drop for you. The same thing with the instructions section. This is an exact mirror image of the application. So as you're going through the application, if you have any questions at all or want further explanations, you can click on different sections and information will drop for you. We also have a quick status menu. This will become your best friend as you're going through the process. So make sure before you call customer service, before you call your schools in a panic, make sure you check your quick status section at all times because we're updating it around the clock. The minute we receive your official transcripts, they're going to post immediately to your application and you'll see that real time. So under quick status designations, you will be able to see what schools you have selected. Under your GPA calculation, you will see once NursingCast verifies numerous GPAs for you. Your transcripts, once your schools have sent your official transcripts directly to NursingCast, you will see them appear on your application. Once your references have submitted their letters of reference electronically to NursingCast, you will see that as well. And once we receive your payment, whether it's credit card or money order, you'll see that here as well. All of the information under quick status, you can access it on your mobile portal as well. So any information that you're looking for, you can access it from wherever you are. Under quick actions, if you're still unsure of where you want to go to school or you need further information if you know where you're going, so this is a great tool on the application. You can go by search filter. So if you know what school you want to go to, you can add in the school name. If you know what city you're interested in, state, you can click on a state. If you're looking for a grad or an undergraduate program type, this will narrow down which programs you're interested in. Also, if you're looking for online, hybrid, or on campus as well. So let's just do a general search so you can see what we have to offer. So here you can see all schools that participate in NursingCast. Now, this is really, really important, this section, because here's where you're going to see what your schools require. Every single school on this link shows every requirement that is needed for the NursingCast application. They have full detailed instructions so that you know what is required of you in order to apply through NursingCast for their programs. So here, if you click on the school, it directs you to their link with NursingCast instructions. You can see if they require a supplemental application. You can see if there is a supplemental fee, if the school requires references or not, and if the school requires personal statements, as well as which programs the schools offer for you. Now I will move over to the bulk of the application. So here you can see, reference the legend as you're going through the whole application because it's really helpful. So here you can see what's optional, what's required, what's incomplete, what's completed, and what needs attention. So under applicant information, you'll be required to complete biographic information, personal data, and background information. Under your education section, this is a 3-step process here. So here you would be required to enter in your high school name. If you are coming straight out of high school, you only have to put in your high school and then you're done. If you have some college courses that you've taken or you're currently enrolled at a school or a community college or whatever, any colleges or universities that you have attended, you must submit them here. And then here you want to put if you've attended any colleges or universities, we're looking if you've earned a degree, if you expect to earn a degree, or no degree earned. So make sure all 3 sections are completed. And then here is the transcript request form. This is really important to submit to your registrar's office from whatever schools you're requiring official transcripts to be sent to Nursing CAS. As a student, it's really, really important that you do not submit the transcripts to Nursing CAS. We do not take any issue to student transcripts. They must be sent to Nursing CAS directly from the schools that you are submitting this transcript request form to. And the reason behind the transcript request form is because it has your unique identifier on here, and it speeds up processing once it arrives to Nursing CAS. All this other information you don't need to fill out. We just want your Nursing CAS ID number, your name, and the school that it's coming from. So you can leave all these other sections blank. So another recommendation, make sure that you order a copy of official transcripts for yourself while you begin the Nursing CAS application. As you go through, you'll see the coursework section, and this is when you want to have your official transcripts on hand. As you go through the coursework section, you want to make sure that everything that appears on your official transcripts matches up all of the coursework that you have entered in. So Nursing CAS requires that you enter in all of your coursework so that you can give your schools that you're applying to a full GPA calculation. That's really important for them to see a breakdown of all your GPAs. So here, all you would have to do is, I'll give you an example so you can see what it looks like. It's a pretty quick process. You only have to manually enter in the course title that appears on your official transcript and the course prefix. Everything else is a drop down for you. So as you're going through it, you're just dropping down and clicking on what is on your official transcript. And if you have any troubles as you're going through the coursework entering, there's an instructional video for you that you can reference as you're going through it to make sure that you enter it in correctly. Now, make sure that you get every single official transcript, because even if there's transfer credits on your official transcript, we need official transcripts from every school you've attended. Don't put in transfer credits the way they appear on that transcript. We want it to appear how it looks on every official transcript that we receive. And if you have advanced placement credits on your transcripts, you can enter them as well. Next is the test section. Here you can enter in if any of your schools require any test scores. So currently you can enter in GREs if there's any programs that you're going to that requires the GREs, the HESI, and the TEAS. Those are manually entered in by you, but if your school requires you to send official tests directly to them, that's where you would have to send them. Nursing CAS currently does not collect test scores, but we're currently working on building relationships so that the test scores can be sent directly to Nursing CAS. Your reference section. Here's where you're going to list in your references. So all you need to do is add in your reference names, email address, fill in a few sections, and then hit submit, and it electronically goes to your references email account. So this is all electronic, and then once your reference writer is done, they will submit it back to Nursing CAS. And you'll be able to see that under your quick status section that your reference is complete. In your personal statement, depending on if your school requires a specific question or if there's something specific that you need to answer for that school, you can create as many personal statements as you would like and tailor them to your school's needs. Next is the document upload. So if your schools require you to submit a CV or a resume or any other documentations, materials that Hilda mentioned earlier, you can submit up to 5 document uploads within the Nursing CAS application. And then here is the designation section. This is really important. So this is where you're going to pick which schools you want to apply to. So here you would click Add a New Designation. And the same thing as the participating programs page, you have a search filter. You can search by anything that you would like. And then you would just click on Search. And here you can see all the schools will appear again. and what programs they currently have available for you. And then you would just click on a program, and then go back to the top of the page, click Submit, and you've submitted to that school. But keep in mind, you're not done once you hit Submit. So here, for example, as you can see, it says attention. I haven't fulfilled all my requirements yet for my application, so it's telling me there's something wrong. So you want to click here, and you can see that one of my schools is complete and the other one's incomplete. So I can apply to the completed school. The incomplete school, it won't let me submit to it yet until I meet all the requirements of that school. So that's why it's really important on the participating programs page that you see if they require a reference and a personal statement, because without you completing those requirements, you can't apply to that school. So here's where you would submit the personal statement and attach it to whatever school you're applying to. Your letters of reference, so here it requires 3, I only have 2. So until I fulfill that requirement, I can't submit to this school. And then any documents that I need to upload, I can attach them to that specific school. So what's really great about the NursingCast application is, like I mentioned earlier, you can tailor your personal statement to whatever school you're applying to, so that one personal statement you would attach to that one program that you're applying to. Your letters of reference, you can add up to 6 letters of reference. If there's 2 that you want to go to this school only, you can pick just the 2 references to go to this one school and 3 to go to another. So you don't have to use all the same information if you don't want to. And if a specific program requires certain documents and another program doesn't, you can pick whatever documents are required for whatever program you're applying to. And then once you have completed the application, you will then have to hit submit. And at this point, it will ask you to pay for the application. So the graduate application fee is $65, and for any other schools that you're interested in applying to, it's $35. And for the undergraduate application fee, it's $45, and for any additional school, it's $30. And another thing that I wanted to point out to you guys is every time a new school joins NursingCast, or if there's a deadline extension, we reach out to the whole application pool so that you're always aware of what's going on in NursingCast, and you will see that in the My Message section. So not only do we email you to your NursingCast application, but we also send an email to your personal email, so you're always up to date on what's going on with NursingCast. And again, if you have any questions about your application as you go through the process, you don't need to call your schools. We're an extension of the admissions office, so you can always reach out to us with any questions if you don't see your transcript, or if you have questions about the application, we can help you through your entire process. So, and that's an overview of the NursingCast application. Does anybody have any questions? Yes? Great question. So the question is, it's a $65 fee for the first school you apply to and $30 for any other school. So for the graduate programs, it's $65 for the first school and $35 for any additional schools. And then for undergrad, it's $45 and $30 for any other schools. And then some schools also have supplemental application fees, so make sure under participating programs that you are checking that if they require a supplemental and it says supplemental fee, you are responsible for checking that.
And the supplemental fee would be submitted directly to the school, not through NursingCast. And for any supplemental fees, you should submit them directly to the school rather than NursingCast. Other questions? I also just wanted to add, some schools, I know especially some of the state schools in California, they require that you apply, for example, let's say through the CSU mentor application as well, and you might be assigned a school-specific ID number from a CSU or UC, for example, and in the additional information section of NursingCast, you can actually input your school-specific ID number. So check the directions from your schools, because some schools might want you to do that because it helps them match up those two applications and just recognize that, oh yes, they did complete our supplemental because they have that ID number. There's also a field on the account creation page for Social Security number, and some of your schools want want to collect your social security number. That's an encrypted field. Check with your school to see if they need that. Because some of them use that for financial aid purposes, so they want to run that to look at your FAFSA, for example. So definitely check for that as well. Yes? So through Nursing Cast, it is per school, so you do pay per school, yes. Oh, I apologize. So the question was, do you need to pay per school? Yes. Other questions?
No other questions? Yes. Is there a limit to the number of schools that you can apply to? No, there is not a limit. My suggestion would be to make sure that if you want to apply to 3 to 5 schools, because you might want to be in 3 or 5 different states in the nation, maybe one of them, to look at what they require to make sure that you are meeting the requirement. As Tanya has shown the application, there was a school that she applied to in her test application that require a reference, and she didn't have that completed, so it couldn't go through. So just make sure that the schools that you're applying to are actually, that you meet all of the requirements when you submit, but there's not a limit. Yes?
Would you give a recommended number for the schools that you should apply to?
That's a great question. Will you give a recommended number of schools that you should apply to? This is what I would say. As an applicant, you might want to look at your weaknesses and strengths and evaluate the school that you are applying to. Now, I'm speaking from a person that has worked in admissions for a long time. So you want to go on the school's webpage once you're in the Nursing Cast application and you have identified, let's say, the 3 or 5 schools that you're applying to, and see, okay, do I meet the requirements? Is there a minimum GPA of a 3 or a minimum GPA of a 3.5? If there is a minimum GPA of a 3.5 and you have a 3.25, I would say don't apply to that school because you will be wasting your money and time. So do your homework before you start applying and submitting that 45 and for the additional schools, the $30 fee, so that you know that you're not wasting time or money. Schools are not gonna know really, and they really do not care how many schools you're applying to. What they want to make sure is that you are able to enroll in a program, because nursing needs you. And we really need BSN prepared nurses, Bachelors of Science in Nursing prepared students. So for us, it's not an issue how many schools you have applied to, but the most important piece is that you know that you meet those requirements of the 10 to 20 schools that you're applying to. So I hope I have answered your question. Other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm currently taking my prerequisites to at a community college, and I was wondering, like, would you guys recommend me transferring over to to a bachelor's degree instead of rather just going for the associate's degree one day?
Actually, Caroline and I can answer that. So do you want to repeat the question, or do you want me? Let me repeat the question. Should this young man is at a community college and he's completing an associate degree, and he wants to know whether or not he should transfer for our Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. What I would say to you, and Caroline can speak for the association, and I can speak from my years in admissions, that most of us want our nurses to be prepared at the BSN level. There is research that shows the mortality is higher when you have a cohort of nurses prepare at the associate degree level, and mortality is lower when you have BSN prepared nurses. With the state of hospitals and going magnet status, you will be better served in the long run as a career to have a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and even a graduate degree. So my suggestion to you is, of course, complete your ADN, But of course, receive your NCLEX, your license, complete the NCLEX, be licensed, and then go on for the BSN. And that is from the educator perspective, but Caroline can speak for the association.
That's a great summary. So I just want to repeat, I think that the market's really demanding BSN prepared nurses, so it might be, more beneficial for you just as far as career prospects go. But, it is a personal decision. It depends on your individual situation, and it's good to talk with your, academic advisor or college counselor too, and to figure out, what your best option is for you. And of course, think about academic progression too, because there's a lot of great programs that offer RN mobility, so you can go on to complete your baccalaureate, maybe your master's and even your doctoral degree, to have even more opportunities for jobs in the future.
If I may add, because some of you might be at the community college level completing an ADN and are thinking of, should I, continue on? Absolutely. And Caroline mentioned something about mobility. And some hospitals will allow you to continue with the BSN and the master's and possibly the PhD in the Doctor of Nursing practice, and they're willing to pay part of your tuition. So take advantage. So when you are looking to work at a hospital, ask them what are their tuition benefits, what are the resources available to you as an ADN prepared nurse that has an RN that would like to continue your education, because there are quite a few benefits to you available through the hospital setting.
Good question.
Very good question. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
For someone like myself who's financially challenged, can you tell me the benefits of using the nursing path as opposed to just doing CSU mentor and doing all the work?
I guess all of us can answer that, but I will tell you, I was a very poor student myself, and I wish that there was a tool like that available to me, because this is how I would have leveraged the tool. I would have looked at the school that I might be a good fit in terms of requirements and what I want to do, but also look at what opportunities they have for scholarship and financial aid by going and doing the research on their website. I also want to encourage you that through Nursing Cast at the AACN office, we have a scholarship too that you might want to look into. But that's the benefit that I see to this tool, because you'll be able to do a bit more research. And also that scholarship is available for Nursing Cast participating schools. So you might want to apply to those schools so that you can leverage a little bit more funding toward your tuition. I would also add to start your research early. So start early. If you're planning to enroll for the fall of 2014, start now. Start now with your application research and your financial aid research. Caroline?
Yeah, and I just also like to add, your time is valuable, and being able to do one application for many schools is helpful. And also, you might be sending multiple sets of transcripts to different places. You're asking reference writers to, do double work. Maybe you're applying to 3 schools and you're asking them to send those out to 3 different schools, or, so it's also a time issue. So think about your time and how that's valuable as well.
In fact, there was a young woman, she was here earlier at a session, and she stopped by our table, and she said to us, I'm applying to 5 schools, but my God, I still have to work and I have to go to school. It's time consuming. And I would agree where you would have to do just one application, one set of transcripts, so that you can be done in a day rather than maybe a few weeks.
And I do just want to add that this is centralized application services have been very successful in other health professions. And NursingCast is new. We just launched in 2010. So it's great to be able to talk to applicants and prospective students, because we want your feedback. So please come talk with us afterwards so we can hear more from you about how this could be even a more valuable tool to you from a student perspective.
Any other questions? I see that our host is approaching, so if there are no other questions, we're going to be around for a little bit, and we're going to be giving another lecture in another hall. So I'm glad that you were here. Thank you so much.